CERT, continuing education, EMS topics, shock, patient lift, and carries. What does all that mean, and why did almost 100 people show up for a Saturday morning class at 9 a.m. at the Santa Clara Fire Station training facility on Walsh Road in Santa Clara? This was not a required course for CERT trained volunteers. In fact, they got no credit for taking the course and no certificates of completion. Well, it's just 3 hours, but those topics, how exciting could that be? I'll tell you why, because those 100 people from throughout Santa Clara County care about emergency preparedness. They care about themselves, their families, their neighbors, their neighborhood, and their entire community. They know that the next time a major disaster strikes, that they could be on their own for the first 72 hours or even longer. Emergency response will be overwhelmed, whether it's the result of a major earthquake, flood, weather event, plane crash, or terrorist attack. That's where CERT comes in, and that's what CERT is all about. Training civilians just like you to be able to do the most good for the most people in that critical first 72 hours. That's why people who have gone through official CERT training are eager to spend that Saturday morning attending a 3-hour class that provides more in-depth review of what shock really is and how to respond. And even though they are civilian responders, in that coming emergency, they might be partnered with professional emergency responders who will be using some of the patient lift and carry techniques that this 3-hour class is going to demonstrate. Yes, CERT people are those kind of people, civilians just like you who want to have the skills to help save lives. But why this class from 3 professionals from the Santa Clara Fire Department? Because those 3 represent 3 of the finest and most dedicated public servants who embrace the partnership of civilian CERT volunteers working right alongside their professional emergency responders. If you get a chance, you owe it to yourself to take a class given by John Boucher, Phil Kleinheinz, or Steve Kastner. It will likely be one of the best and most memorable classes you will have ever attended. So enough of me. Let's see some of the highlights of the October 29, 2019 class. CERT, continuing education, EMS topics, shock, and patient lift and carry.
somebody is that the ground is holding most of their weight, right? You're not doing it yourself, right? So I have this guy, right? He's not that heavy. He's about 45 pounds, right? So you see, like on the movies, right? These guys like will lift somebody up and you'll kind of go, like this. That's cool. And I remember like years ago we kind of did that in the fire academy. But getting somebody from here to on your shoulder, forget it. You're not going to do it unless they're super tiny or you're super big and super fit, right? If they're able to stand, it might not be so bad, but really, chances are you can't get them from here on your shoulder. So our best option really, if we don't have time to get other people, is to drag them. So there's a number of ways that we can drag them. The easiest thing is just by their arms or legs, right? Generally, if we're moving them by ourselves, by the legs is usually easiest. So basically we're going to get down here, we're going to grab them kind of by the ankle. Generally their lower legs are relatively easy to grab onto, and we're going to just slide them, right? Their head's going to be dragging, but chances are they're unconscious, and we just need to get them out in a hurry, right? The problem with all these drags is it's great on a nice smooth surface, but if there's a bunch of debris, it's really can be difficult. Right? Probably less than 50 pounds. The other thing too is if they're able to keep some rigidity, kind of like that, right, then they're a little easier to manage, right? Same thing, if they're able to kind of keep their arms down, less chance that the arms are going to flop. Yeah, it's okay to roll them on that. You can, if you were going to move the arm, you would move this one rather than this one. But generally, it's okay to roll them just the way they are. Yeah. So the idea is one or two people are going to be on the side that we're rolling towards. Right? So we're going to grab the hip and the shoulder because those are both solid bony parts. Right? We're going to roll them towards me because it's always easier to pull them towards you than to push them away from you. So now the idea is we're going to shove the blanket under till we get to about the midpoint of the blanket, right? So you guys just sort of...
Sorry. You're going to hear what that is.
I'm going to lean it back.
So the next thing he's going to do is he's going to secure her to the device, right? So those straps that we have, a lot of the times whenever we strap somebody's chest, it's always in that cross, right? Your seatbelt works like that. Racing harnesses work like that. That's the most secure. So he's going to go ahead and...
The nice thing is everything's color coded.
Yeah, so he's using black to black, right? He's going to take the black strap. It's going to clip to the black buckle. And then the green's going to connect to the green buckle. I'm trying to get out of the way. Is this enough? Actually, you know what? Let's get out of the way. Is that better?
Yeah.
All right. So we're going to go ahead and secure her to it. So this serves a couple different purposes. One, it keeps them safe on the device. Maybe they're semi-conscious and they can't hold themselves in there, right? Usually this isn't the greatest thing for people that are semi-conscious because we got to make sure they maintain their airway, and sitting upright ain't a great position for that. But sometimes we use it. The time that I've used it is for drunks, right? I know they're maintaining their airway, but I'm not comfortable having them walk down the stairs by themselves, right? So we're going to help them out. There's a bunch of different options, but this is one of them, right? This works very well too for people that that I'm not sure if they're going to be able to walk on their own, and I'm not going to be able to catch them, right? We get a lot of drunk calls at the university for students, right? I'm usually pretty comfortable. If the student starts getting uneasy on their feet, I can catch them, right? But not everybody am I that comfortable with, so I'm going to make sure they're safe the whole way down the stairs. Okay, so he's securing the straps. The other strap that we have is one down near the feet. She's kind of conscious. I'm sorry. Baseline, just like my baseline. Kaz told you he's worked with me before, right? This is baseline. All right. So he can also secure the feet so that the feet don't fall off, right? One of the things whenever we move people that we ask them is to give themselves a big hug, cross your arm. Because what we don't want somebody to do is reach out and grab something. If they do, it makes it really hard to move them, and it hurts sometimes, right? When all of a sudden you're doing something and something changes, that can hurt, right? So we don't want people to reach out. This is a pretty scary position to be in. It's not for us because we've seen it a bunch, but for some of us haven't. So we ask them to give themselves a big hug. Don't grab or reach out and grab anything, right? Okay, so now she's in the device, right? So now what we need to do is we need to rotate it and turn it toward the stairs. So he's unlocked the wheels.
Okay, here we go. We're gonna move.
Okay, and so now, that's perfect. Now I'm gonna get set up to help him, right? So I'm gonna get these out. Really all I'm doing is help guide down the stairs, and I'm gonna help him lean back when he's ready. The other thing that he just did that you can't tell is he tilted that tractor tread out, and he made sure it locked and clicked in so that it's not gonna fall back in and lean it back. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna lean back, okay? It's gonna get a little bumpy for a second as we transfer over to those tractor treads, okay? All right, so are you ready?
Yep.
You got your handle up the side if you want it? Okay, all on you.
All right. We'll go ahead and start leaning and moving forward.
Okay, so now we're on those tractor treads, so we're dealing with a lot of friction now, right? So we're going to move nice and slow. You don't have to go down that much. Cool. And we're going to come down here. So, Kaz, is this really hard right now?
No, I'm not really doing anything right now.
He's just controlling the. Oh, sorry. I'm not paying attention. I made it a little more bumpy than we needed to. So if I'm really careful, I can transition to these stairs a little bit better and then make it a lot less bumpy, right? But I have to really pay attention.
We normally have 3 or 4 people on our crews, so somebody could be spot and fill right now.
Ideally, I'm walking backwards. So what is one of the things we talked about?
Trip.
Having somebody spot me so I don't
Hand on
trip,
your
right?
shoulder.
But ultimately, you trust me, right?
Yeah.
Kaz?
Yeah.
He doesn't need me. I'm not doing anything. But it's nice to have those 2 people. The funny thing is, I won't have Kaz do it, but Kaz could do the same thing and she's not going to move. This thing's got friction on this device, so it does it all work itself. So we come all the way down to the ground. Okay, once we make it to the ground here, he's going to transition back to those caster wheels. This thing works just like a desk chair, and he can roll it wherever he wants to. And if we find another set of stairs, we can do that.
So a big thank you to John, Phil, and Steve for taking time out of their schedule to train a bunch of civilians like myself in the advanced topics of shock and what we can do to mitigate the effects of shock in the CERT world, and also the various types of patient carries that the professional emergency responders will use during the course of their career, and which we may be called on to assist with in the upcoming disaster. It was the greatest 3-hour class I've ever taken, and I strongly urge any of you who are interested to sign up today.